And welcome back to Prescriptions for Healthy Lifestyles. We're talking about nutrition and we're talking about diabetes and the importance of our diets, Danny.
Absolutely. I had an old doctor one time that told me when I was in med school, Edie, that the healthiest person in the world is a diabetic who is following their diet. Because see, the diabetic diet is so important, for good nutrition, for maintenance of healthy weight, and for fighting off chronic illness. So
it really is. Both of my grandmothers were diabetics, and that what you just said is so true. One of my grandmothers, my father's mother, she was a dietitian at a little local hospital in Red Bay, Alabama, and she followed it to that. She probably was 4'11", wouldn't weigh 90 pounds soaking wet. Everything was perfect, measured her food. My other grandmother, she probably weighed 250 pounds, and she would never eat the right things. She just said, well, I'm going to live as long as I live. I'm just going to eat what I want to eat. It's not a good attitude, is
we
it?
have those types in our family too, believe me, I'm telling you.
But I loved, it was like I go to one place and I got mixed information about diabetes. So I hope that today they'll feel good about learning from Cora Brackage and others on our show, that giving some good exercise tips and nutritional tips, because no matter what that medicine is, like myself, I've been through a lot with different medications that, as we say, blow us up or make us not feel, but even no matter how hard you worked out, it wouldn't come off, would it?
Right.
If you got medications are messing with your system.
Absolutely, and no matter what your illness and what your medicine, you got to follow healthy, nutritious, guidelines, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get better.
And rest is important, isn't it?
Oh, it's key. It's key. It's one of those things. Exercise, rest, and healthy diet are going to help you no matter what your condition.
And the support of who's around you.
That's right.
I tell people one of the greatest doses of medicine is love.
You got that right. That tempers all of it.
It really does.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Potts, you're such a gracious man and you're so kind to so many people. I've watched you interact with others and with patients and sharing your stories of that. So I know that people are going to want to stay tuned to new things that we've got coming up.
Stay right here with us on Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts. We'll be back in a moment.
If you woke up with pain this morning, you are not alone. Estimates are that nearly 1/3 of Americans will experience chronic pain at some point in their lives. Optimal Pain Control by Franklin Pharmacy works directly with your physician to create a pain cream for your unique needs. Our staff of pharmacists has over 30 years experience in compounding. OPC by Franklin Pharmacy's custom formulas are created for you to maximize pain relief while minimizing side effects. From minor aches to severe neuropathic pain, let us be your partner.
Enjoy the latest books from Edie Hand. A portion of sales benefit charities such as St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit www.ediehandfoundation.org or your local or online bookstore. Pick up your copies today. A Pocket Guide for the Alzheimer's Caregiver by Dr. Daniel Potts and his wife Ellen helps you understand this disease and get the best care possible. Go to alzpocketguide.com or any online bookstore for your copy. You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts.
Well, we're talking about the diseases for people that are out there. How many Americans are stricken with diabetes?
Well, we say
statistically.
in Alabama, 1 in every 10 persons in Alabama has diabetes.
Is that?
So here, we have about 10 people here in the studio, so one of us has diabetes in this room.
And I'm one of them. I'm a type 2, and of course I have a niece that, 2 nieces, matter of fact, they're type 1. Mm-hmm. Would you share with our viewers that might not understand about when they say type 1 and type 2?
Yeah, that's always confusing, and they've kind of changed things over the years and how we say things and all. We used to say type 1 was juvenile onset, but not necessarily. What type 1 is you have no insulin function. Your pancreas doesn't make any insulin. It's absent.
You will die if you do not get this taken care of.
Yes. And type 2 is a combination or one or the other thing. It is either you're not making enough insulin to handle the job, or your insulin is not functioning correctly. So, or a combination of the two.
Well, and in this disease, though, can you give our viewers a few tips of some, or either some signs they can look for? Okay.
Well, some of the things that we say, one of the biggest signs that you would have is you're just thirsty. Just take the water, drink the river, and then you're still thirsty. So that's the number one sign that we see. Just drink, 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 drink. And of course, if you drink that much, you're going to be running to the bathroom a lot.
I know that feeling.
Frequent urination would be another one too. Dry skin, just feeling tired and fatigued. And none of those sound like, oh man, I'm just going to fall on the floor and die any minute. But they're all add together and they make you kind of miserable.
Well, what can they do today that's different? You don't have to take the insulin shots like you used to. It's a choice, right?
Well, it depends where your disease is and where your body is, really.
Explain that a little bit to our viewers.
There are medicines now, oral medications you can take that make your pancreas make more insulin. Okay, there are medicines that help your insulin function better to get to do its job. And those are oral medicines that you take, and that's usually our first defense is the diet and nutrition.
I mean, with everything, isn't it? What we put in is what we get out, didn't it?
Junk in, junk out.
Yeah, and because what are some things too that they could not do? I mean, like what are some things they should not do if they were, say, even a type 2
Well, you
diabetic?
can stay a good weight. That's a good thing to do. One of the things that we say, we call it metabolic syndrome in medicine, but one of the things is that you carry your weight around the middle of your body, okay? And that's a more risky weight than, say, carrying weight down in your thighs. I know women hate that.
I know, I do.
We hate it down in our thighs.
Yeah.
But it's not as risky as those guys that are carrying it around here in their stomach. So, because it's around your organs, which is not going to help things work very well.
So is there exercise that you teach them also?
Just any exercise, really. I say, what do you like?
Oh, okay.
Because if you like it, you'll do it. If you like dancing, get up and dance. If you like doing the machines, go to the gym. What do you want to do? If you just like walking and take a stroll through the neighborhood, then let's get a program and let's do that. It really needs to be what you like. So
It's trying to make the lifestyle fit, right? So they'll really do it.
Right.
Do you get patients that just simply say, well, I can't lose 10, 20, 50 pounds?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
What do you tell them?
Well, we start with what are you doing? And what are you willing to change? And so one of the things that I like to go in with is just to kind of hear what they're doing or how they're managing things. And then I'll say, now which one of those do you think you would be willing to change right now? Or what things like maybe they drink a lot of Coke or sweet tea in Alabama. We like sweet tea,
That's
don't
right,
we?
we do.
Anyway, they drink a lot of sweet tea. And I'm like, well, is that something you'd be willing to give up? And, I try to show them that, like, you see this glass of tea, that's about 3 servings of bread. No way. And so I'm like, yeah, that's 3 breads. And they're like, oh, well, I could change that. And maybe that's all they can change today, and that's good enough for today. And then next time we'll change something else.
So you don't overwhelm them with it.
No,
I think that's the key with anything, isn't it? Any disease.
Well, you do get those, and those people that just want more and more and more information, like short circuit. I got to have everything right now, and so you want all that information. And so we do have things we have to cover them. The law requires that we teach you how to check your blood sugar, so you know what to do. What to do with your medicines if you're on medication, and then your diet. We have to teach them your diet. So those things we have to cover with you.
Okay, well, and you're saying that with a diet. How many calories do you normally put? Does it depend on their weight or what they need?
The first thing I ask them is, are you happy with your weight? Because if they're unhappy with their weight, or if they're happy with their weight, I'm not going to get them to change. Some people are okay. I'm okay with 20 pounds. This is the way I've always looked. I'm happy with that. So if they're happy with that, then you're not going to get them to change.
No.
So we could just move right on, and I'll just teach them, about carbohydrates and things, and limiting those.
What is an example of something? Perhaps I know you've got a lot of great slides and points that we can make. What would be something to really show a person that they could comparing their carbohydrates to their proteins they got to have?
It's real simple with diabetes. There are 3 foods that have carbohydrates in it, 3 classifications: starches and breads, fruit, and milk, such as, you think, grain, maltose, lactose in milk, and fructose in fruit. All those OS words, they turn to glucose in the end, which is sugar.
Wow.
3 things. So those are the things that you need to count with diabetes and all. And depending on your size and what your goals are and all, you might be at 3 servings, or maybe you'll be at 4 servings per day. And we'll determine that based on what their needs are.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts. We'll be back in a moment.
This is Holly, or Ms. Clemente as her students call her, and they call her often because she's always there for them. No problem is too big or too small. Because to Holly, you can't teach someone if you don't connect with them, and you can't connect with someone unless you truly care for them. Sometimes success starts when you go the extra mile to make sure someone else gets ahead. Virginia College, your success starts here.
Hi, I'm Sarah Evans here with friends Rollins and Kumar, who've been helping Children's of Alabama celebrate its 100th birthday. They're here for care at the Alabama Center for Childhood Cancer and Blood Disorders, the largest provider of cancer care for children and young adults in the state. At Children's, we treat every form of cancer, and we're committed to a cure. You can be too. Donate now so thousands of kids like Rollins and Kumar will celebrate lots of birthdays, including their own.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts.
Even a diabetic's diet, and speaking of food, because we're going to be heading over to the kitchen.
Going to the kitchen.
Going to the kitchen, is their diet. I mean, it would be a great way. An 1,800 calorie diet, is that a pretty standard diet, or should it be a little less?
That's a pretty standard diet. That depends on your activity and all. A person like me and you, probably not as active as we used to do.
Yes,
and
that's
that
true.
probably would be too many calories sometimes.
So what would we need? Because I'm working on
1,600 would probably be good. 1,600. I'm not into 1,000 calories because you can't stick with that for very long. It does get you what you want quickly, and some people can do that. But 1,500 seems like a good number to me.
If you stayed on 1,500 and you walked, just doing that, I mean, you could probably drop down. What would kind of, for our viewers,
we say 1 to 2 pounds a week. If you lose more than that, 1 to 2 pounds a week, then you should be under supervision of a doctor, particularly if you have diabetes. Because if you're losing weight quickly, then medicines need to be changed, your electrolytes need to be checked, your blood work needs to be done. And that can be done. There are programs that do that, and they're good programs. But they need to be, under the care of a physician.
Okay.
So.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts. We'll be back in a moment.
Sure, Toyota is #1 for everyone. But Scott Crump insists on more proof than just statistics. Yeah, the all-new redesigned 2012 Camry has more room, better fuel economy, and plenty more performance. And right now at Scott Crump Toyota, you too can drive the new Camry from just $199 a month. Did we mention better brakes? Visit Scott Crump Toyota in Jasper.
We'll do whatever it takes.
Enjoy the latest books from Edie Hand. A portion of sales benefit charities such as St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit www.ediehandfoundation.org or your local or online bookstore. Pick up your copies today. A Pocket Guide for the Alzheimer's Caregiver by Dr. Daniel Potts and his wife Ellen helps you understand this disease and get the best care possible. Go to alzpocketguide.com or any online bookstore for your copy.
If you woke up with pain this morning, you are not alone. Estimates are that nearly 1/3 of Americans will experience chronic pain at some point in their lives. Optimal Pain Control by Franklin Pharmacy works directly with your physician to create a pain cream for your unique needs. Our staff of pharmacists has over 30 years experience in compounding. OPC by Franklin Pharmacy's custom formulas are created for you to maximize pain relief while minimizing side effects. From minor aches to severe neuropathic pain, let us be your partner.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts.
What we're going to do is, and you can actually use any kind of lettuce that you want to, but on the website you're going to see that it's romaine lettuce. Now me personally with Crohn's disease, I need to use something with a little more fiber in it, so a lot of times I use spinach. That's a really good source of fiber. So what I did tonight is I just mixed it all together. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're just going to take your spinach and just dump it on the plate.
Okay, all right, I can do that.
No problem.
Wow, that's a big portion, girl.
It is. Okay.
So you could use all of that, or you could not, right?
I'm making double for us.
Oh,
okay?
double. Oh, because
So,
we're going to eat together.
That's right.
Okay.
But a little tip for you, let me
Yes.
just tell you, a whole cup of spinach has 7 calories. 7
No.
calories. So
I didn't
imagine
know
how
that.
full you're going to get. 7 calories.
Well, I'm full just looking at it.
I mean, a whole cup of spinach.
Okay. All right, we've got
Perfect.
that.
That looks great. Okay, and what
What's
I
next?
did is I took a chicken breast, okay, and I grilled it. All right?
One chicken breast.
One chicken breast. Easy, no skin, okay, grilled, and it's about 3 ounces.
Did you use it in the oil? I see you've got some
No
olive oil. You didn't?
oil.
No oil.
yet. Okay, but now we're going to talk about oil, but this is just grilled chicken.
Okay, it's grilled chicken. Okay.
Grilled chicken.
Just
and
on
I
your
just
grill.
chopped it up.
Okay.
Yep, and we're just going to dump that on top.
Okay, all right, just dump it.
So we're just going to dump that on top.
I love to dump and go.
I'm telling you, I told you it's going to be quick, easy, and so good. You're going to love this.
I don't know. Our producer might get it. He's been fighting me for stuff all night long. Here we go.
All right. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a medium apple.
Okay.
Now, here's the trick though. I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk a little more detail later, but this is what we're going to post this on the website. There's a few foods called the Dirty Dozen. If you can buy organic, especially if you have any kind of digestive disorders, anything like that, and small children. Small children really need to start out with a good, healthy immune system. Buying organic, apples is one of the things you want to try to buy organic. Okay? So, and if you can't find organic apples, there's a little thing called Produce Wash. Okay? You can just, this one happens to be organic, but you can just spray this, give it a good rub. Okay.
Would you rub it with a paper towel, or is that put other things on it? It's better just naturally with clean hands?
Yeah, just rub it with your hands.
Okay.
Rinse it under the sink. That's going to get rid of all that wax that's on there, any pesticides that may have, been used during the growing process. Okay. But this is one of the Dirty Dozen that you don't want to buy if you can help it. Okay. But if you have to buy it, wash it with some Produce Wash.
Okay, sounds good.
And you can find that anywhere really. That's readily available. All right, so what we're going to do.
I love the little apple slicers.
Oh, yeah, we're going to slice an apple. Hang on.
Now, you're so tiny.
But
you did it.
I did. Hey, I work out.
That's true, you work out at Curtis. And now with the apple, I also see that you've brought, okay, thank you.
There we go.
And you brought with the apple, you quarter that?
I just like it chopped into like bite-sized pieces.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's your own, your own preference. But it's just a medium-sized apple. We're just going to lay that over the top here. And, we were talking about that Dirty Dozen.
Yes.
I'm going to just tell you a couple more while I'm chopping the apple up here. A few more things that you really want to try to buy organic. Celery is one of the top things. When they were testing celery, 95% of the celery that they tested high in pesticides.
You're kidding me.
95%.
And I love celery, so.
And it's so healthy for you. I want you to eat it. I don't want you to skip out on that, but I want you to buy organic when you can. Okay. So that's actually really high on the list. So.
Okay. Now, what's next?
Okay, we're going to add 1 ounce of almonds. Okay. So, and I'm going to tell you why, because we want you to have some healthy fat. Okay. Healthy fat is good for you. Healthy fat actually helps you lose fat. Okay. Healthy fat is things like olive oil, avocados, nuts. Okay, but you don't want a lot. That's if those weren't already chopped, 1 ounce would be about 14 halves of walnuts. Okay, so 14
That's
walnuts
great.
halves. Yeah, it's looking good already.
Now, what are we going to do with the blue cheese?
Okay, now we're going to get some cheese, okay? And you could either use blue cheese or you could use feta cheese, okay? It's really good paired with apples. You could also substitute apples for pears, okay? So I'm just going to give you some options.
And I think, too, that with feta cheese, it certainly has that different taste, and even if you wanted to nuke it in a microwave.
Absolutely, you sure could. And we're only going to use 1 ounce, okay?
And an ounce, if someone wasn't measuring it, is what looks like about?
1 ounce looks like about a dice.
Oh, dice. Okay.
Like a die, like just one single die.
Okay.
Like if you were just eyeballing it.
Okay.
So.
Now, do you crumble it?
I do. I'm going to crumble it over the top.
Okay. Let me hold that up there.
Yeah, I'm going to just chop that up there.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you why we're doing
this. Doesn't that look good
too.
out there, viewers? I know they're loving this, Christy. It's a great recipe.
Listen, we want calcium, okay? Calcium is bone building, all right? And if you are not getting at least 3 servings of calcium a day, you are missing out. Let me tell you why you're missing out. You know all those Got Milk commercials?
Yes.
All that? It is the truth, absolute truth. You can burn up to 24 to 69% more fat each month if you eat 3 servings of calcium a day, every day. Every day, don't skip a day. So, Edie, first thing I'm going to start you on is guess what?
Calcium.
Okay? Not only because
well, I'm
it's
older.
important,
You know, when you're in your 60s, and I'm not that I'm old, but I want people to know that when you're different stages of your life, your metabolism is different.
It's vital for your bones. You have to have it. Strength training is also, after the age of 30, you simply can't just do a walking routine or a cardio routine.
That looks good.
Yes.
Smell-o-vision.
Smell wonderful. You need the strength training for your bones, but the calcium's going to help you burn more body fat. So already we've got a serving of vegetables in here. We've got healthy fat. We've got a serving of fruit. We've got calcium in here. I mean, can you see what kind of just
that is an incredible
powerhouse we are building
You wouldn't be wanting. What else?
All we've got left is some dressing. Okay, that's all we're going to do.
Put that over there.
I'm going to give you some choices. Again, we're going to add a little bit more healthy fat.
Okay.
All right, this time it's in the form of olive oil. We're going to use extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
We're going to add, for 1 serving, I would add a tablespoon, but I'm going to do 2, okay?
Now you're doing it like our grandma does.
Hey, I'm in the, my mama taught me how to cook. My mama.
Okay.
But now, I like the taste of balsamic vinegar. For this salad, you could use balsamic vinegar or apple cider vinegar. Okay, so either one. Okay.
What's the difference in that taste to you?
This is a little sweeter. This tastes well with the apples, but this tastes great to me with the blue cheese. So if I had used feta cheese, I would probably go with the apple cider vinegar. But to me, the balsamic vinegar tastes better with the blue cheese.
And I could see with that balsamic that you could have like a glass of wine, you know,
Absolutely.
Or you could have, drink your water with lemon,
sure,
to be healthy.
Absolutely. We're just going to whisk that up together. We're just going to drizzle it over because that warm.
Because the warm.
Oh, the warm is just going to be such a treat.
It smells great.
It's going to melt. It's going to just wilt those greens just a little bit, and it's just going to add just a little bit of comfort.
And the presentation looks good too.
It's gorgeous.
As always, we appreciate each and every one of you joining us on Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles, and we hope that you will take home something that will inspire you in your daily walk. Thank you.